Oh, hello, 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 hello. Oh, yeah, something is attacking my leg. I think I've got to be careful down here. So much to. Something is attacking my leg. It's a plastic bag of miscellaneous things. Why would it suddenly, when it's been there, try and attack my leg? Maybe it got shifted. Okay, so I have been to the basement. I did find some things. I found some more stuff. There is some still water damage, or boxes that are water damaged, and some things in there that are water damaged. But in some cases, there are things that are not water damaged. For example, this is, well, supposedly it's Janvier from Russ. That's all I know. Janvier from Russ. A little doll. A cute little doll, dressed cute. I don't know exactly. Well, I know I got it in an auction with some other stuff. I did. Oh, January. Garnet. Oh, okay. It's in French on the box. So I guess they came out with these once a month. I guess. Well, I'm not sure exactly what to do with her. But I guess for the moment, actually, you know what? I think she goes better that way. I will figure something. Anyway, there was more things. There was, although I don't want to get to that one yet. But here, ooh, looky, looky. This would have been fine. It's a little damaged, but I'll hold on to it. I'll take it down to the pet room. That is something I probably picked up at the World of Commodore. Indeed, with the specifications for the PET 4032 and the picture. You know, I don't like that picture. I know the bigger monitor was like, bigger and you could see better and all that. But, yeah, I don't know. Something about the original PET and the monitor being smaller was good. So, I did have a whole bunch of things for this. Hopefully nothing else has been lost in the damage. Anyway, general description. The PET 4032 computer is a low-cost, versatile computer for personal, educational, and scientific applications. Easy to use. Previous computer experience is not necessary. A variety of software applications is readily available. Ta-da! And on the back, there's kind of an artistic impression, as well as things, lots of things. Basic 4.0, IEEE 4A8 bus, 40 column by 25 line screen size, 8-bit parallel user port with handshake lines. Lots of things. And it's storage. Wait, things are falling. Things are falling. What is falling on me? Oh, it's a paddle. I will stick it back up here. I need to test things. Anyway, you know what? Good. I will put that there. If it will lean there. If it will lean there. Good. Now here, sadly this too is a little water damaged. It's a dip. It's a thing. It's a transactor from Well, it's, oh, March 1988. Volume 8, Issue 5. Now, I would think... Oh dear, some pages are stuck together. Or the cover is stuck. Let's see here. Yeah. Water is the enemy. Heat is the enemy, and water is the enemy. But anyway, it's still rescuable. It is. The Transactor was very good in a lot of ways, and exceptionally very good about getting things printed, a whole bunch on a page. But, yeah, I need my glasses. I need my glasses. I do. I do. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of people who contributed to this. I don't remember exactly when this went on. But maybe this was leading to when things went different for the Transactor, where the driving force behind it left, and soon after that, it was no more. Transactor for the Amiga, keeping you in touch with Amiga programming. Yum. Anyway, yeah, they do print things very efficiently. So even people who do not need reading glasses, it might not be a bad thing. Anyway, this is certainly not one that I would look to get signed by Carl Hilden. Let's see, is there anything in here? Wow. I don't know if there's anything in here from Jim Butterfield. I don't know. But he was a common, well, there was nothing common about Jim Butterfield, but anyway, he was a frequent contributor to, here, maybe we can stand that up here, the Transactor. And there. Alright, so now we're getting into some cables. And I am not sure. I mean, this just looks like a DB25 to DB25. It could be all kinds of things. But to me, it certainly is reminiscent of the cable that might have connected the hard drive, the super, oh, what was it called? It was by Z-Tech. It looks like, anyway, this is going to end up on the door. And it can hang there. And that is lovely. And here is the power cable. Typical line cord, as they say. As I said many times, it's always surprising when people put up a regular 1541 and say, I don't have the power supply. There's the power supply. The power supply is built in. And when I tell them, you just need a regular, oh, I don't know, I can't do anything. All right, now here is an interesting thing. It is a Vic-20 multiple cartridge thing. It is. So, look at that bad boy. So this, that would plug into the Vic-20. Note, it has a fuse and all kinds of traces that run to this fine ribbon cable. And then there's a reset switch. Because, of course, if you're changing cartridges or doing things, it might be handy. Also, there is There's 2 rows of dip switches. Now, do I remember what all these things are for? No. But if you were using a Vic-20, you could have more than one memory thing in there to add to memory, so that would be handy. But if you did have games that you were into and you didn't want to be pulling them out, this would be handy. All kinds of reasons to have this. Anyway, this one is rather, it's not in a case, it's rather wide open. But anyway, that too will be something that needs to be tested, even though I have no room for things to be tested. What is this? Oh, it's a receipt that I can't read, so it can go. Now here, thankfully, this does not seem to be damaged. It's a Commodore rechargeable calculator. Now, and I don't really see a way to open it up. Rechargeable. Even says it in French. I don't see a way to, like, open up and put a different battery in. I do see a little hatch of sorts. Oh, I've often wondered what was in these things. Now, do I have the right little itty-bitty screwdriver here? That is another question. It would take a tiny... Oh, I think I might see one. Oh. There comes a time... Ah! Just dump things out and start fresh. Now, what is this? Something fell. I don't know what it is. It's a tiny little screwdriver, but I don't know if it is the kind of tiny little screwdriver. Oh, things are happening. It's funny, I really can't see the kind of head, and it may or may not be the exact kind of head it is. But it is working. So let us rejoice. See, sometimes if you get, even if you have a Phillips, but if you have the right size and it's tiny enough on the, even if it's not Phillips, now this screw, this screw is being more difficult. So let's see if this one, oh man, yeah, this screw, okay, this screwdriver fits better, and this screw is much more challenging to get out. Thus, the little wee screwdriver. It's a Phillips. Now, so now that I have that out, is this going to open? And the answer is, at first glance, no. I wonder, and I really don't want to take off the nameplate thingy. I wonder if there's another way underneath there to get in here. I don't know. I will take this tiny little screwdriver. See, this is in lovely shape. I don't want to hurt it. It may be that after 40-some years, it just doesn't want to come apart. Oh, wait, maybe there's hope. Well, it's kind of coming off there. But not really. Well, you know what? I think this is a case of, I don't know what kind of battery's in there, and I think for the moment, that's the way it's supposed to be. But I will take this down. There we go, one screw in. I will take this down to the pet room, because in the pet room I do have, I think there's another couple of calculator things. And there's a couple of adding machines. And it certainly, of course, doesn't come on, but isn't it lovely? So that will go down. Okay. Great. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Oh, with lots of stuff. Now, why is there an EEPROM? Oh, it's missing a leg. Well, I guess so I wouldn't lose it. This is kind of the, well, the bucket with all kinds of things, including little wee screwdrivers that I can't find without dumping it out. Oh well. I found it. Hopefully next time I need it, I'll be able to find stuff and not dump it out quite. Perhaps. There's a function key from a 64, I think. And look, it's my Commodore 64 battery. What battery? Power supply tester from Rudy of Rudy's Retro Intel. Anyway, I'll throw things back in and carry on. Now this, I suspect I have been looking for this for a very long time. Actually, just recently. Okay, so what is this? This is a harness to go with a diagnostic-y thing. And just recently, I did find maybe the cartridge that goes with it. I wouldn't have thrown it away. Sorry, I wouldn't have. What have I done with it? It must be close at hand. Or it's in the pile of things to be tested. But I don't think I would do that. And I wouldn't put it in that box of strange stuff. I had it. I know I did. Well, if it's in there, it will appear. But I would think that when I found that, I would have said, "Ooh, I don't want to lose that." I would not have just stuck it in there. But maybe I did. Anyway, this is something that way back when I did. It came from Commodore. This was their harness that connected to the serial port, the cassette port, the user port, the joystick port. And I think, oh, that bugs me that I saw that. What's this thing? No, that's not it. Oh. It's tough enough to find things. Trying to get them back together again. Oh, well, here's one thing. Here's a cartridge. This is not the one I was just looking for. This one is supposedly the 64 test cartridge from, I guess, September 10th of 1986. Well, that's a good thing. I'll keep them together for sure. What else is in this bag? Oh, my word. Who would have thunk it? A disc notcher. A beautiful thing. Okay. These things are staying together. I will put them in this bucket. And I must try them at some point. Probably soon. Now, the last thing I have, and this is quite something. And I really never read this. And it is a little bit damaged. So I'll open it carefully. But see, long ago, and this is something to be very careful of with any organization you get involved with, is like, if anything is going on where somebody is sort of taking over or becoming, I don't know, some aspect of a club or organization is really becoming one person's baby, and they have control of it, and they've registered it themselves, and anyway, these are things to watch out for. They are, because, okay, I've got this all open. Oh, come on. The pages are a little swirly, but this is a rare thing. This is, you may remember, the original magazine that was part of the Toronto Pet Users Group was called the Tor Pet. Well, the Tor Pet, because it was owned by this fellow named Bruce Beach, who, rest his soul, died not long ago, ended up coming out with this, the Tor Pet. Canada's Tomorrow Discovery Corporation. Yeah, right. Here we are. There's a boat on the back. And I will do a whole other video on this. But let's just say that today's Oceanic Research Program for Education and Training. And there is here, I have a couple of articles in here. Or maybe it's one article, just stretched out. I don't know. Of how this didn't go well. Like, for example, it says, project backed by tax credit maroons 26 Canadian youths. Anyway, I will do another video on this whole thing. I will. Because it really, sometimes people with vision may need glasses. And in terms of the way things went with the Tor Pet and then T-Pug having its own magazine and the Tor Pet going its own way and other things, like, I'll just say a little bit. Bruce Beach had basically a whole bunch of school buses buried in the ground for when, you know, the end came. Not for him, but just for the world. And there were people that donated and people that helped keep it up and whatever. But then, of course, this thing, as one fellow, David Williams, who was involved in T-Pug, said that, because when I found this at I think a Services Canada office, although they weren't called that at the time. And I took it and they said, oh, well, yes. So first, this fellow Bruce Beach, he built this sort of thing that he'll be, you know, the last man standing and da-da-da-da. And this is kind of like his version of Noah's Ark. That's, anyway, I'll have to read more. I'll have to research more. But this did not go well. It didn't go well. Is that Penny? It's Penny. It did not go well. Anyway, I do need to, hello, Penny, have a word with Penny. Hello, Penny. How you doing? Penny. Also, there was some other horrible troubles in the basement with water damage, and some of the things that were water damaged were some fine vintage entertainment magazines, adult with wonderful articles and some, oh my, a few, well, lots of cartoons, articles, and there were indeed some pictures. Imagine. Anyway, there are a bunch of these that I had down there that have been destroyed. This one still sort of opens somewhat. But anyway, water damage is a horrible thing. And I wonder if I can get that page open. Anyway, some of the cartoons are just hilarious. I mean, they had a whole, I would say, I guess a stable of cartoonists that were some of the best in the world. They did. Anyway, I'll have to see if there's what, if anything, can be salvaged from this. I just don't know. But anyway, if it can't, it can't. It's, I have others, but it's tragic when water comes a calling. It is, and there were people say, oh yeah, just it's all about the pictures, but there were incredible articles in here, and I don't know about this one, but they did go out of their way. Well, I guess Hugh Hefner himself said if it wasn't for the girls, he'd just have a literary magazine. Now, was he a fine gentleman? Not necessarily. Do I know all the ins and outs of all, No, I don't. I really don't. I really don't. Anyway, I know that certainly some things are the way they are today because of some of the pioneering people back in previous times that took a stand. And it's funny, I remember there was a thing where, what was this from? 1970, February 1970. Some people who took a stand on things have helped us in many ways. Anyway, I remember there was a story of they were not able to get, or having trouble getting something to do, I'm not sure, maybe it's called a second class mailing permit, which would make it more financially viable to mail magazines and things to people. And they fought it and they won. And I think Hugh Hefner's words were, because of course whoever was in charge of the post office didn't like the fact that Playboy was what it was. Anyway, I remember Hugh Hefner said, yes, from now on, the magazine will be edited in Chicago, not Washington, D.C. In other words, freedom of the press and all that stuff. Yes, indeed. Anyway, yeah, I will have to go down to the basement today, and there are definitely some editions of vintage such magazines that are ruined. It's sad. Sad. Anyway, the thing I really want to do soon is get a 64 up here, and as I said, and I think in the last video I might have started talking about this, but I didn't do anything about it, and that is I got two 1541s, and the ad said they were free, but the guy said, well, I'm really interested in trading. And I said, oh, okay, what do you, I thought maybe he still had some interest in the old machines and stuff, and he said he'd like a big bag of Cool Ranch Doritos for each one. So I thought that was fair. Now, do they work? I don't know. Actually, I suppose I don't really need to get stuff up here yet to hook them up to yet. Not that there's no shortage of things up here to test them with. I just have to find a 64 that's working. That's what I need to do. Anyway, not that there's any shortage of them. It just, things happen. I've been working in the pet room. I really haven't been up here much. I have not. So, of course, what do I have here? More things to test. For example, this Vic-20 thing. And you know what I think I'm going to do? I have here a box with all kinds of Vic-20 tapes and things. And I think I'm just going to pop that in there. Because I'll get to it at some point. Anyway, at some point, I will continue talking about the tour pet. Today's, what does it say? Today's Oceanic Research Program for Education and Training, backed by the Government of Canada. Yeah. Oh, this is from the summer of 1986, issue 30. I don't know if they had other issues that actually had the sort of the sailors in the Dickie D ice cream uniforms on the front. I don't know, but somehow they had a ship. Anyway, I will have to look into this further.
That was easy.
So, right now, this is going down to the pet room. This might have just a hint of yellowing, so I think I'll take it and put it out in the sun. And I do want to get and test this C64 test thing from Commodore and its thing, and it boggles my mind that I had that other cartridge, and I'm sure I've set it somewhere where I know where it is. I just don't know where that is. Anyway, I will continue with other things. So, thanks for being here, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.